safe space. We ain't never give a reason you should hide. Compile all your questions, we're taking the quest. Join Tarsha on this journey to discover the rest. Go.
Welcome to the Adoption Journey Podcast. I am your host, Tarsha Smith, and welcome back to another week, another journey. Y'all already know to subscribe and do all the things, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. I am very excited to have a fellow adoptee, a two-time adoptee, and y'all, I don't even know what that's all about. We're going to find out together. Hi, Kathy.
Hey there.
Thanks so much for wanting to tell your story, wanting to come on the show.
Yeah.
And I'm going to dive right in like I always do. Go ahead and tell me, how old were you when you found out that you were adopted?
As old as I can remember things, I would say. I was always told.
Okay, so let's start there. What were you told?
That we were the adopted child, either by a family member or an extended family member, we'll say, you know, like someone in the house or someone outside the house.
Okay. Mm-hmm. How old were you when you were adopted?
The first time. Yeah, I have to remember these things. The first time, I believe I was about 5 or 6 months old.
Okay.
And the second time was in 78, I believe, or 77. So I was 6 or 7.
Okay, so let's back up to the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, now I know you were a baby, do you know the circumstances around that? From
what I was told, there was a lot of abuse in that house. You know, that was 71. So we would
your adoptive parents' house or the birth parents' house?
The adopted parents' house. I didn't find out anything about the birth parents' house until 2012 when I met them.
Oh, okay. So we'll get there. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first time, 5 months old, you're in your first adoptive parents' house and you were told there was a lot of abuse. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was told they used to put me underwater a lot. This is all, again, secondhand information.
Yeah.
So I have burns, cigarette and cigar burns, like on different parts of my body. Still not quite sure why they adopted me in the first place. I'm guessing it was a money issue, but I'm really not quite sure. But someone in their neighborhood called DCF or DCYF here in Rhode Island, and I was put into foster care.
Okay, so what do you know anything about that first adoptive family? Were they Black? Were they white?
I met them.
Anything?
When I was about 30, I think about 30. I have been searching, like putting flyers up. Just by listening to certain people in my family, I knew that my birth parents were somewhere in Rhode Island. So I made flyers. I didn't even think to grab it. I put them around.
Hold on. When you say, wait, hold on. I'm trying to follow. When you say you met them, the adoptive parents or the birth parents?
I met the first adopted parents before I met the birth parents. Yeah.
What?
At least the mother. The father by that time had passed away.
Okay, so you remained with them for a couple of years. Do you remember leaving their house and going into foster care?
Not even a couple of years. I was with the second adopted family by the time I was 17, 18 months old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so they
It moved quick.
First adoptive family, they adopted. And then for whatever reason, you ended up in this abusive situation.
Right.
The DCF was called. And then they removed you from the home.
Right.
You go into foster care. And then by 17, 18 months, you're with your second adoptive family.
Yes. And I stayed foster. They had foster children. Well, another foster child. So I stayed with them and then was officially adopted when I was like 6 or 7 or 7 or 8. I forget when it was. Yeah.
Okay, so they were your foster parents until...
Yes. Yeah, I didn't jump around. I was fortunate enough to not have to jump from house to house or facility. Yeah.
Okay. So now you're getting into an age where you kind of start remembering. What do you remember about those early years being in this in your foster parents' home?
Being treated differently. That always happened, though, up until even last week. So... Yeah.
We'll get there.
being treated differently. They were the birth children, and then
Okay.
there was the two adopted children.
Okay, now I do have to ask, are they black or are they white?
I went from the first adopted family who were white to a
Okay.
black family. I grew up with a black family.
You grew up with a black
Hmm.
family. Okay. And how old were their biological children?
Oh, they were much older.
I knew you were going to say
Jeepers.
that.
Yeah. Um, Goodness, I'm not even quite sure. I'm 52. My oldest sister Shirley is I think 65 or 66 going on. So there was quite
Okay.
the age gap. And then the sister under Shirley, I'm a little hesitant about saying their names. It's a little weird.
No,
But
you don't
I
have
already
to.
said
No, you don't
Shirley.
have to.
So yeah. She was, I think, 5 years under her. And then there's another one, the favorite, that
Oh,
is like 2 years under her. So they had three
okay.
natural daughters, no sons, and then they adopted two extra girls.
Okay. And then there's this big age gap.
Yeah.
Were they old? Were your adoptive parents, were they older
Oh, much so.
themselves?
Yeah.
Much older.
The mother,
I-
she has since passed away.
Right.
But my dad, he'll be 90 in December.
Oh, God bless them.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what that is where, because you're not the first person that I've talked to who the parents had biological children
Mm-hmm.
and they were grown, and sometimes they even had grandchildren,
Mm-hmm.
and then they take in a couple of more kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What?
Yep. Yeah. And there were a lot of struggles too with my adopted mother, with I guess running after us because of the age difference. So she
Yeah,
wasn't
the
really
age.
involved in school things or anything like that. No.
So you said you were treated differently.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
what do you remember? Yeah, tell me a little about that. What do you remember?
By the time I was able to do like my own kind of chores and things like that, cousins
Uh-huh.
of mine used to call me Cinderella. It was the funniest thing, I thought. But then, thinking about it, you're like, oh, yeah, that's not a good thing. Just a lot of cleaning, a lot of extra things that the other children did not do. And, whether they were in college or in high school at the time or graduating or
Mhm.
whatever, we still had to do all of the house cleaning.
And the others were not doing anything? How did that make you feel? Do you remember feeling some type of way about that?
I still do.
Oh, to this
Yeah.
day.
I still do. I still feel some type of way. There were a lot of things that weren't, of course, equal from the natural children to the adopted children. When it came to grandchildren, how close they were
Mhm.
to mine or how close they were to their natural children's, a lot of
Mm.
differences. My children don't talk to them. I've tried for
Be
years when they were little. My oldest is 32. He'll be 33.
okay.
No.
I was just going to ask you that because I know you said that your adoptive mom has since passed, but
Yeah.
did you ever get to have a conversation with her
No, she didn't like
about
discussing the adoption stuff at all. And I knew from a long time ago that I wanted to find my natural parents. I needed to know nationalities. I wanted to know
yeah,
medical history, different things,
Mhm.
And she never wanted to discuss it. So I went snooping
Mm.
one day
Mm.
and found a certain. Actually, I think it's close, but I'm not positive.
Go ahead.
I found
Go
like
ahead.
a certificate sort of thing that. 2 seconds. Just
Yeah,
two
yeah, go
seconds
ahead.
right
Go
there.
ahead. You're fine. You're fine.
Let me see. I thought it was upstairs, but it wasn't. My folder.
So when you go while you're looking through there,
Yeah.
when you go snooping, because that's a common thing amongst our adoptees,
Really?
and oh yeah, we're nosy. We especially when for those of us that were born like in the 70s and the 60s, where it was just closed adoptions for the most part,
Right.
and there was not a whole lot of information to be handed down to us. Very little non-identifying information.
Mm-hmm.
And so for those of us that wanted to know, we started asking questions, we started digging. So I'm like you, I grew up knowing,
Mm-hmm.
but there came a time where I started asking
Yeah.
all the things and
But
all the questions.
I got no answers though. I got blown
I,
off,
I
sort of.
I got answers. I got what they knew,
Hmm.
and it just wasn't a lot.
Oh.
But it sounds like your adoptive mom was one of those that just I don't want to say embarrassed, or it was just not talked about. It was like you just
I'm not sure the reason, to be very frank. I'm not sure the reason why it happened.
yeah.
Yeah. I was told that they were going to stop fostering, and myself and this other girl were going to be separated, and they wanted to keep us together, so they adopted us.
Now the other girl, is that your biological sister?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
So they took in 2 additional
Right.
little girls
From that first house.
from the
Yeah.
first. You were
Right.
both in the house together.
She was there before I got there. She's 2 years older than me.
Got you.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. You did say that. Okay. I'm
She was
following
not
you now.
abused
Got
though.
you.
Only I was the abused one. She looked, to make an assumption, she looked more like them than I did.
Got it. Got it.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Did you find the certificate that you were looking
Oh,
for?
yeah, the certificate of adoption. It was actually 75, so I was 2 years off. Yeah.
So you find this,
Mhm.
and where did you
Oh,
find
I don't
this?
know if
Like,
you can see this. I'm not sure if you can
yes,
even hear
yes,
it clearly.
I can
Yeah.
see it. I can see it
Um,
clearly. Where, like, tell me, do you remember the day that you found this, and where were you
um,
looking?
I told my sister I needed to know certain things. Like we
How
have
old were
family
you?
pictures. I'm
How old
sorry.
were you? How old were you when you
Oh,
found that?
oh gosh, probably middle school. And
Oh, you're a kid digging through
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, oh yeah. And forgive me if I don't remember. I have a brain injury, so I forget a lot of things.
Oh
But
no, no, it's
I'm
okay. It's
trying to
fine.
bring things back.
Yeah,
Um,
it's fine.
I believe it was in middle school. Everyone was
Hmm.
gone. I told my sister I'm going to look, and I went through drawers, and I found that, and I took it.
And she never knew.
No, she never knew. But it's only the adoption certificate. That's all it is. It doesn't
Right.
give
There's
me
no
any other
information in there.
information
Right.
except the it says associate justice at the bottom of it,
Mm-hmm.
and the clerk at family court. And I know
Right.
people who work at family court. So, I started not when I was in middle school, later on.
Right. Later
I
on. Yeah.
started
Yeah.
asking questions, sending emails and different things.
So
And
I know that your adoptive mom didn't want to talk about this, but at what point? So I'm fast forwarding now because
Mhm.
go through middle school and everything, high school.
Oh yeah.
Let's stop in high school because you said you were being treated differently, and she
Mhm.
didn't want to talk about it. Like, what was high school like for you? What did that look like for you? Was it
Um,
normal or
High school for me was good. I had
okay?
really good friends. I still have them.
Okay.
I have friends probably that I've known over 30 years that I still speak with. And
Okay. So life is good.
I'm closer with them. I'm not very social though. I don't go out a whole lot and all that sort of jazz, but
Mm-hmm.
they're right there if I need them, and vice versa. But they're probably closer to me than my sisters are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair. So we get through high school.
Mhm.
When do you begin the real search? Like, I'm about to start looking.
I had my daughter. I'm not sure if no. I'm trying to think if my youngest was born as of yet. I think he was. So it had to be after 99.
Okay.
Maybe 2000 possibly. Um I was sitting here one Saturday and I said, I'm kind of tired of all of this. And I had already did a couple of steps. Do you want me to backtrack just for a second?
Sure. Yeah. Backtrack. Yeah.
I worked in an office temporarily at the state of Rhode Island.
Okay.
And I forget what his first name is, Lynch. But his sister somehow or another was able to get some information for me. And
Okay.
she sent me Linda Lynch, as a matter of fact. She sent me a email with my original birth certificate. And I
There
was
it is.
ecstatic. I even have information here from Catholic Social Services from the orphanage. I went and I visited them too.
Okay. Let me ask you about that original birth certificate.
Oh,
Now,
yes.
my first question
But this
is
is what
your
it looks
name
like.
blacked out? Oh, blacked out.
Yeah.
Yep.
I tried everything. I was an office worker. I
Look at
could
them.
do all kinds of stuff, trickery, and I could not get it through it. So yeah,
That's so infuriating. Oh, that's so infuriating.
yeah, but
So,
yeah,
so the information that's on there is going to be information that's non-identifying. So, what I want to know is your birthday the same? Like what you know to be your birthday? Was that still?
that was right on all
That
three
was
because
right.
I have 3 birth certificates, so that was the same
Okay.
on all 3. Yeah.
Okay.
hmm
And I assume your name is redacted from that. Your original.
Yeah, but I was able to get. Let me see here.
Because what I want to know is did you have a name change?
Yeah, a couple of times, I believe. The first one, the birth name was Ida Esther Pyers.
Okay.
So my name was Ida.
That's your birth name.
Yeah. The second one
Okay.
was Kathy Edith Briggs.
Okay.
And then it switched to Kathy Michelle McBride. So,
And that's
yeah.
where we landed.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
So to get 3.
3 name changes.
Yep.
Wow. And but all the other information was correct because I'm always interested in that birthday and that name
Yeah.
because I know sometimes those are not correct.
Mhm.
Is there any information on there about your birth father
On the original birth certificate,
on the original birth certificate?
his name is on there. Well,
Really?
name is on there, but it's not my biological father's name. It's the husband's name. I'm a product of adultery with 2 people. Yeah, it gets real
Okay.
interesting.
Okay. Okay. So on the original birth certificate,
Yes.
the quote unquote birth father
Mhm.
is not the father.
No, it's her husband because I guess when
It's
you
her
have children, you're
husband.
married, automatically. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, okay. Does the husband, and
Mhm.
I'm probably skipping ahead a whole lot,
No, go
but
ahead.
does the husband know that you are not his child?
The husband did not know that I was even existing at the time. The husband was in the military. Yeah, so I forget what war was happening back then, but he was in the army, in the military.
6 to Vietnam?
71. So, yeah,
I
something.
believe it was still happening.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh,
she was doing her thing when he was
he was
overseas.
away
Mhm.
and then got pregnant.
And here I am.
And then here you are.
Right.
And she gave you up for adoption
After keeping me for 3 months.
after keeping you for 3 months.
That part infuriates me. Yeah, she has like 7 sisters or something. I don't get why none of them stepped up, but I don't understand why even her mom did not keep me. I have an aunt 2 years older than me.
You
Yeah.
see my mouth is wide open right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It gets good. This is life. Yeah.
Yeah, this is your real life.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
I know. These stories are so wild.
Mhm.
Okay, so you find you get a hold of this information that's all
Yeah.
redacted.
Right.
And what is your next step after
Okay.
you get
So
these
after
things?
Mrs. Lynch sent me that fax or email, I forget exactly how I got it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Briggs. I knew it was in Rhode Island. So back then, we had phone books. So I got the phone book out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I started looking for Briggs and I started making phone calls and I was talking to some people. Some people didn't answer. I finally got a hold of someone and said, yeah, Edith is my mother-in-law. That's the adopted mother, the first adopted mother. I said, well,
Okay.
I'm looking for her. I need to know more information about my biology, my makeup.
Okay, because you had to backtrack. I need to get to the first adoptive parents to
Right.
see if they have the birth. I'm
Yes.
with you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because the first adoption was open. The second adoption was closed.
Oh, so
Yeah.
they probably had more information.
So they
Okay,
couldn't find
keep going.
me. They couldn't do anything when it came to
Mhm.
that second adoption. I had a minivan back then. I called a friend of mine. I still call her my sister, Gina. She doesn't talk to me anymore because I still speak to the McBride, so she doesn't speak to me any longer. That's very hurtful. But I called them and we packed a couple of the kids in the car, and we took the minivan, and we went over to Bradford, a city here in Rhode Island, because I found that person, and went and grilled him and asked him a bunch of questions. And I met my first adopted mother, Edith, about 2 weeks after that, when I was able enough to connect my thoughts.
And this is the one that originally was abusing you.
Yes. Yeah. Come to find out, it wasn't her. It was the husband. Yeah. There were other things I think that happened in that house that I don't get them anymore, but I used to have really bad dreams when I was younger. Besides the burning and all of that sort of jazz. There were other things that happened in the house, but I don't think it was her. My sister Gina went with me to meet her. We left the kids, went with her. She had moved to Connecticut, which is like a half an hour from here. It's not too far. We walked in, and there was a picture of me and my sister Gina on the wall. And it was weird and very creepy.
For sure.
And she was much older than my parents. Like really old. I had never knew what I looked like when I was a child. I had no baby pictures ever, like nothing to compare my children to, nothing.
Yeah. She
gave me a few clippings sort of thing. I didn't give them back. She did want them, but I never gave them back to her. I kept them. She was very excited to see us, as if we had been kidnapped or something. And, here we come. We're coming back to mommy or something. And I met a few of her sons. It was overwhelming, that one, because they were calling me sister, and I'm just like, I don't know you. Like, it was
they're old
weird.
enough to remember you, but I'm on a pit stop. You're my first pit stop because
Right.
I'm on my way back to my original.
Right.
And so let's get it. I need answers.
And she had
I'm
nothing.
not here for a reunion.
She had nothing for me. Absolutely nothing for me. So it was a lot of heartache and a lot of crying for no reason, if you ask me. Yeah. By that time, her husband had passed, and it was just her. I know she had a granddaughter or someone. They were kind of, I call it harassing, because they found me on LinkedIn too, which was like the weirdest thing. They were sending me messages through Facebook. When are you coming back? We need to see you. We have questions. We want to meet your kids. You're a part of the family, this and that. It was too much. I blocked everybody. And she ends up passing, I don't know, somewhere within maybe 5 years after meeting her.
After that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you take that heartbreaking trip, because that was a lot.
That was a lot.
And I wasn't even there. And that was a lot just hearing you say
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So what is your next step?
My next step
now what?
Was going
And how
back.
long does it take you to get, like, do you just keep moving? Because now you're in
By
this
that
mode
time,
where I gotta find.
I was really pissed off.
I get that. So what's the next step? Where do we go from here?
I'm going to show you what I did.
Okay.
It's very old. This one might be in Spanish. Is it in Spanish? It's, yeah, I found, okay. Let me just show you this first.
Yeah,
This is what I had in the stores in my neighborhood and over in the city away from us and things.
Okay, so definitely in Spanish.
Right. If they had information, what was her name? Edith Esther? Edith.
But what does it say? Tell me what that says.
I couldn't tell you. I don't speak Spanish. I have no idea. It's like a Microsoft Word translator or something. I don't know.
Okay, so you have
I still have an English one.
So you have this flyer posted up around
everywhere.
And
okay, I have it in English.
Okay, what does it say?
Do you know, or are you a Puerto Rican woman and or about 54 years old who grew up in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, who has a daughter born February 1970 and another daughter born September 1971? Did your mother have 6 children, and are you the third child? Who is female, and she moved from Chicago to Pawtucket to get away from an alcohol. I was mad at this point, though, but to get away from an alcoholic husband, I put all my business everywhere, and I didn't care.
So, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm visualizing. Okay, this is we haven't quite. We're inching into the internet days. We're not quite there yet.
No.
So typed up a flyer
Yes.
with those little pieces on the bottom with your phone number that you could
Yeah.
rip off
That's the only thing that I
and
could think
plaster
of.
them. Yeah.
Everywhere.
And plaster them
Oh
everywhere.
yeah, everywhere.
Oh,
So
girl.
liquor stores, I don't know, like anywhere that I could get them over in Pawtucket, because Pawtucket is the next city away from me.
With all your business out there.
Yeah, I didn't care. My number, I was getting weird phone calls.
Everything.
I didn't care.
So did it work?
No.
Okay.
Nope. It didn't work at all. Except I
And
got,
you had it out there in English and Spanish.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yep. Meat markets.
Wow.
Anywhere I could think in Pawtucket. Yeah. If they let me post it, I was putting it up there. Yeah.
Okay. So how long do you let this go on before you say, okay, I gotta try something else because this isn't working?
I gave up. Yeah. At that point I gave up.
Okay.
Yeah. And I found out years later, I think it was 20 Jeepers. My adopted mother passed in 2010. So I think I found out in 2011 that in Rhode Island they had this new law that was going to be passed. If you were born and adopted in Rhode Island, that you would get access to your birth certificate, your original birth certificate.
Mm-hmm.
So of course I'm going crazy. I need to do this.
Right.
I need it. My sister was never really enthused about the idea until this law passed. We paid $20, I think, something like that. And you go and sit in a room and they have this whole stupid conference. And my friend Jessica's mom went with me. And my daughter, matter of fact, was with me too. And they brought us into the conference room and they're like, okay, you know, we have this and we have that and your name is out there. And they're handing it to people and they hand me mine and it's not the right one. I said, I have this one already. And the woman didn't understand. She didn't get it. I said, well, I already have this one. And
so what did they hand you?
They handed me the first adopted certificate.
That's not the right one. That's right. That's not what we're looking for.
Right.
You need the other one. Okay.
I stopped bawling, like just done. I'm like,
done.
How do you guys not know this? It should all be in the same folder. You know what I mean? Like it just made no sense to me. And Jessica's mom worked for DCYF. So I had the right person with me. And she started going off on people. And she said, no, you're making her cry. And we have this. Look, we have this already. And blah, 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 blah. And she's such a strength for me. Her and Jessica, as a matter of fact. They're huge, huge, huge part of my life. But they sat me in an office. They put us in the office. And they went to go look. And they came back with it. And I said, okay. So we went outside. I remember sitting outside on a bench for a little while, just trying to calm myself.
Yeah,
but
calm
now
down, right.
I have this thing in my hand. What am I going to do with it? Because now we have the internet and I know how to work it. So
right.
I called Jessica. I was on it.
Here we go.
It was right before the 4th of July, like the week before the 4th. And I called Jessica and she said, what do you want to do? I said, well, you know what I'm about to do. I'll call you back.
Right. So, like I'm busy.
I knew the married name. So I started searching. You pay what, $1.95 and some taxes and you can get who was married, who wasn't married, or where they live and all kinds of things. So I was able to get as far as her maiden name.
Okay.
And I told Jessica, I said, I can't get any further. I don't know what to do. She said, give me the name. Jessica called me back a few hours later. She said, I got it and I got an address. I said, what? Now it's real. It's real. Yeah. And I'm going to stalk this woman is what I'm going to do. Whether she likes it or not, I'm going to go see what she looks like. I want to see, who do I mirror? Like, what do I look like here? I remember I was doing yard work that day. This memory, it won't go away, I'm sure. And I was dirty. I was dirty. I called Jess. I said, hey, let's go grab an iced coffee. And she says, okay. And I'm like, well, let's just take a spin by the house. Just a spin by, just to see where it is. And, after the holiday, then I'll come back, little by little. And we spun by the house, and I drove up to the front door, and there was some sort of party going on in the yard. So I said, well, this is the address. There's a person out there. Let me ask if this woman lives there. And here's a good, like a ooh moment. This young, light-skinned Puerto Rican kid comes up to my car, and he says, who are you looking for? And I said, well, I'm looking for Gladys. Her name is Gladys. He's like, yeah, that's my mother. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. So now I could still feel it right now in my stomach as I speak about this. And Jessica looked at me, and I'm looking at her, and then a cousin, I forget what his name is, he comes up. He says, wait, I'm gonna go get her. And I was like, no. I'm dirty. I'm
Yeah.
not prepared mentally. I'm off. It's
What made you say, let's spin by the house?
I just wanted to see like where she lived, how close she
Yeah.
was. Like, was
And
she
how
only
close
a
was she?
touch away? When you find out more information about her, you're going to fall out of your chair.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'm sitting back. Okay.
Yeah.
So go.
Jessica said, pull over. So I moved, and and here comes this woman out the yard, and I'm looking, and I'm out the car. Jessica now is, in the car just kind of watching, and I looked, and she goes, hi, can I help you? And I said, well, I have this paper if you want to look at it, but I went and got my adoption papers, and it has a name on it, and I'm not sure if you're the right woman or not, or what. And she looks at it, and she ran down the street. And I stood there, and I just remember being in shock. And then my younger brother is standing there like, what is going on? Like, what is happening?
Right.
And Jessica gets out. She tries to calm me down and stuff. And this woman comes back, and she grabs me. She grabbed my hand and made me go in that daggone backyard where all of those people. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'll never forget, Biz Markie was playing. Okay, He's Just a Friend was playing. Biz Markie was playing. My Puerto Rican family is cool as ever. Okay, and they love you, like all the same music. It's hilarious. And she says, stop, whatever she said, stop. I remember her saying stop. I don't know what came after that. And then everyone was just kind of looking, and here's this dirty girl, standing there, and her friend standing behind me, and my daughter found me, and everyone's hugging me, and yeah, I was so thrown, but at the same time, I kind of felt, wow.
Talk about being
I don't
thrown
hug my
into
mother.
that.
I've never hugged my mother as far as I can remember, ever.
Okay, hold on. I got to stop you because that was a lot.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It was a whole day of it. Like, it was at night, and I was up.
I'm glad your friend was with you.
Oh yeah, because I would
so
have been
glad somebody was there
Butler
with you,
Hospital
right?
at that point in time. Yeah,
right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my! So okay. So here are my questions.
Yep.
Clearly, had she tried to look for you? Do you know?
I did ask her that, and she said she did, but because the first was open and the second was closed, she said she couldn't find anything, and she's been as close as next door to me at some points in time. Yeah, that's how Providence is. Providence is very small, like you're either related or somebody or whatever. Her best friend went to church with my family. The people that I grew up with next door is also friends with that woman. And she has brought Gladys next door. She's been next door to me. And not like she would see me or know, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, she's been right there. She's been in the same church as I have been at the same time also.
Wow. Okay, so my second question is, do you look like her? Did you see yourself when you saw her?
I see my nose. I fell when I was very little, so my nose is kind of off a little bit. But I do see my nose. I see my father. Well, okay.
Maybe we haven't gotten there yet. Hold on.
There's a little difference.
Father yet.
I resemble her, but she's much lighter. She's
okay.
She's what a stereotypical, Puerto Rican would look like. She's, Okay.
Yeah. And how many siblings, and did they know?
I have an older sister with her. We are less than 2 years apart. I believe it was She was born in February of 70, and I was born September of 71.
Okay.
Yeah. So I only knew about the sister. I
Because she
didn't
was
know
older.
that she went and had 2 more kids after me, and that made me mad.
Mm.
Yeah, that made me very upset, especially after finding out that she said she couldn't afford to keep me and to take care of me, which I believe is a lie, because in some of the paperwork it says what kind of family she wanted me to go to, what kind of religion she wanted me to stay with, and the husband was coming back from the war. So he's not going to want to see someone else's kid, and he's coming back. He's like, what's happening here? Like, what is this? So
So
I
she
think
had
it
a
was
whole
yeah,
baby.
a matter of keep your husband or keep the kid, one or the other. And she
Yeah.
opted for the husband, and then they end up getting divorced anyway. So God is good. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh
Wow,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And so those younger siblings then, you were surprised. They didn't know
I
nothing.
knew nothing about any other children that
And
she
they didn't know
had.
about you.
The first brother, the one under me, knew about me. The younger one did not.
How did that brother know? Who
I'm
told him?
guessing that the sister must have told him.
Oh,
Yeah.
because she was aware.
Yeah, and they're
Okay.
close.
And then so you're in this backyard and the family's like embracing you. So that
Yeah.
tells me the family knew
Oh yeah.
something.
They
The
knew that
family
she
knew.
had a child. Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. I was able to meet her mom. I didn't like her very much. My biological
Why?
grandmother, she was mean.
Uh,
I didn't like her what is this? Her, like the energy that she would give off to me when I met her, or when I brought
mhm.
because only my 2 younger children went with me to meet them. My oldest want nothing to do with it. So I didn't like the way she would talk to them, just, I didn't really care for her. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So this happened, if I'm following, this was 2011, 2012, somewhere right up in there.
2012 is when I received the birth certificates in July.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's very ironic because that's the same year that I found my birth mother and that side
Oh,
of the
wow.
family. Because in the state of Illinois in 2011, the
Mm-hmm.
laws also changed,
Oh,
and I
see?
was able to get I was able to get a copy of my original birth
Great
certificate.
law.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Great law.
So, and now we're 12 years later.
Yep.
What do those relationships look like now?
I have, what is the word I'm looking for? Jeepers. I don't have great relationships, like really bonding relationships with my sisters.
Okay.
It's hard for me to tell them certain things because I don't want to be judged. And I was the youngest of the 5 girls, and things were different. I had a boyfriend, my children's father, that was running around and different things. And I said, I'm going to start over here. So Gladys's daughter, I was having a conversation with her. I said, I'm going to try to trust you and letting you know who I am. And if you have questions to ask me, so we had a great conversation. I felt good talking to her. I said, but this has to be between me and you. This is something I'm holding you accountable for, because it takes me a lot to open up to people. And I don't want everyone to know what I've gone through.
Okay.
And about 10 minutes after I got off the phone with her, Gladys called me. So I stopped speaking to her. I was all set. Yeah, I was all set. And she sent me messages and things, but I'm all set. If I see her in passing, hi. But other than that, I have no purpose in speaking to you because I can't trust you. So I'm all set.
What about your brothers?
I speak to the one right under me only via Instagram.
Okay.
The other one, not at all.
Nothing.
No.
Okay.
Gladys, nope. And that's
How
not because of me.
okay.
Yeah.
How old was Gladys when she had you?
I think 19, I think. She already
Okay.
had a
She
kid, and
was
then
young,
here I
right?
came. I
And
think
then
19 or 20.
married.
Yes.
Kid married and
Right.
yeah, and that's why
Yeah,
she was doing a lot because she was
exactly.
19. Yeah.
I saw pictures too. She was a hot one. I saw pictures of her when she was younger. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So now let's get to the birth father.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Tell me, how do you find him? Does Gladys give you information about him?
She told me what his name was.
Okay.
I did.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
Okay.
So she tells you what his name is,
Yes.
but you have a name that you don't know is incorrect on that
Right.
birth certificate.
Right. Well, I knew by that time that that was my other sister's father. I knew that. Um,
Okay.
Let me think here. You just made a
Because I'm
good
trying to
point.
figure
I'm
out.
trying to
Yeah.
backtrack. You made a very good point. Either Gladys told me or her sister Ida, because there's a sister, my original
It's
namesake.
always a sister with the T.
Yes, named Ida. That's the one that's 2 years older than me, and we had so much in common. So much in
Okay.
common.
Okay.
I believe it might have been Ida that let me know, and not Gladys, but I'm not
That
100% sure.
if I had to bet, I bet you
Hmm. Yeah, I
it
think
was
it
the
was
aunt.
Ida. 'Cause, yeah, we were right there, me and Ida. But
Okay, so you find out this
yeah.
name, then
Hmm.
what do you do next?
She didn't know how to contact him, and I didn't
All right.
either. And at that point, I think just meeting the one parent at that time was enough for me, because before I move on to the next one, I need to readjust and let them know. And I let both of them know when I finally did meet them, face to face. I'm not here for you to be my mother or my father. I'm not here. I'm not looking for money. I'm not looking for handouts. I just want to know
Right.
medical. I want to see what I look like. I want to know if you have any pictures. If you want to be my friend, we can be friends. And that's where I was
I
at
love that.
at that
I
point.
love that. I love
And
that.
I thought it would work out, but
How long did it take you? And from 2012, like what year do you go and find your birth father?
oh, like 2 months later. Yeah.
Oh,
It was
girl,
it was a little less,
I
yeah.
took
It was a little less than 2 months after that. I met
that was quick. It took me
his
11 years.
sister-in-law or something first, his ex-sister-in-law,
Okay,
and
how do you
then
find him? Back up, back up.
oh
How
yeah,
do you find him? Back up.
Ida knew where to contact this ex-sister-in-law, so I called her and boop, 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 boop. Oh, they love talking. Oh, we looked for you, we couldn't find you, and like, okay, all that. It's just, where is he at? You know, they didn't want to give me his number. They were being very standoffish, kind of weird about it. So I hit the internet again. I was like, forget you. I'll hit the internet. I found his brother. His brother was so excited. He was like, oh, yeah, he lives in Warwick. I'm like, are you kidding me? Providence,
Everybody's
Pawtucket,
right there.
Providence, Cranston, Warwick. Right there. Yeah, 20 minutes. Maybe 20 minutes.
Okay.
And just off note, it's kind of hilarious that they were both born and raised in Illinois also, but they didn't meet in Illinois. They met here in Rhode Island. I just
Oh,
thought that was the funniest thing.
wow.
Yeah. So I find him. I talked to him briefly on the phone, and we're going to meet for the first time. But for some reason, it was kind of weird. They picked Burger King. Gonna go sit in Burger King and meet for the first time. So I got Jessica. She's going with me.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's our ride or die at this point.
So we sit down, and they come, and he's with his now wife. The wife knew about me, but she was
Okay.
giving me all kinds of attitude and just weird. I don't like the weird energy now. I can't. If you're making me feel warm and hot and weird, I want nothing to do with
Don't
you.
like the energy.
Um,
Were you in the midst of their relationship? Is that
no,
why?
nope. This is another
Okay.
wife. Nope, that wife is. Oh, because I have another sister that's from. Oh, this is gonna get really good. So his wife was already pregnant or just having a little girl when he cheated with my biological
With
mom.
Gladys.
Yeah. So I have a sister that's like months older than me. And she goes to the same church as my two sisters here in Providence. She was friends and a student at the University of Rhode Island when my best friend Melissa attended. I had met her in passing. That's how small it is. It's just so weird that all of these things happened, I guess, for a reason, for a purpose, but I never, really figured it out. But
Really
anywho,
figured it out. Right.
he invited me to his house, I brought the two youngest with me, to meet him. I do look a lot like him. I wish I had a picture around somewhere. I know I have one upstairs, but he was at the early development of dementia when I met him. Yeah. But we did have some clear conversations, but
Okay.
the wife, I call her, forgive me, I don't, yeah, I do. I do this when I talk to her. I'm not going to fib to you. I call her Penguin because that's what she reminds me of. She's just mean. You know what I mean? They're just mean. She's a mean little short, loud for no reason woman. She knew about me. Well, she knew about a child being out there, and here I am. I
Right.
showed them the birth certificates and everything. She still didn't believe it and kept putting in his head that this is not her. This is not her. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not her. Looking at us standing side by side, you would be like, oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, this is her. I went to CVS. CVS got good old DNA things in a box. So I went and bought one.
Okay.
Went back to their house, sat there in front of her so she couldn't say anything. Did it, sealed it. She went with me to the mailbox. You're coming with me because you're not going to say that I did something funky. So let's go. I paid for everything. I gave her the code that comes online on the computer, and yeah, 99.9999.
9999. Right.
And that was it. And she did not care, and she just was not inviting. I think she thought I was looking for something, and I tried to
That
keep
is the
telling her
thing.
I don't want anything.
Let me say this.
Yeah.
Because that's it right there.
Yeah.
If these people don't stop thinking that we are coming for something,
Exactly. Yeah.
like no,
good.
you have to. I wish these the original birth families could understand. And I'm not saying every birth family is like this, but there are some people that don't get this. When we were born, we were separated. We don't know anything. And especially if those of us that were born in the 50s and 60s and 70s, and
Right.
these were closed adoptions.
Yes.
We know nothing. No medical history. We don't know your name.
Right.
We don't know what you look like.
They don't
We don't
care.
know. We don't know our where we get our little quirks from. All the
Right.
things. We don't know anything. So identity is a right, not a privilege. And so we are coming to figure out who we are. The end.
Yes. Yep. Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. Like,
and if we get a relationship out of it, cool.
Yeah.
If we don't, cool.
I'm good. I'm hurt. I'm a little hurt, but I'm good. Yeah. That's what you said. They don't know what it's like to have a child, and then you're going to GYN and OB and all this other stuff, and they're asking, so your medical history, do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have that? That?
No, I do not.
I don't know. I'm adopted. I don't know. I'm adopted.
I do not.
Couldn't tell you. I'm adopted.
I'm adopted.
Yeah. It's horrible. It's a horrible feeling.
Okay, so this little penguin that we're
yeah, she's her name is Lisa. This little just to give, well, okay. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but she's short, she's chunky, she's loud. She's white, and she thinks she knows everything. And I say it like that, not because every white person knows everything. I don't want to get, to that point, but I really think she just thought she was better than. And then she would always bring Gladys up during conversations that I was having with Novel.
Does she know Gladys?
Doesn't know Gladys. Nope.
Oh, okay.
But she swears to God that Gladys had 2 or 3 kids floating around, and she's a this and she's a that, and that was her conversation. So I couldn't speak with her.
Oh, she was trying to make herself feel better.
Right.
Okay. Whatever, girl.
She even got upset. We ordered pizza one time. That was the last time I was over there, as a matter of fact. We ordered pizza, and I put Novel, came in the car. I said, let's go get it. And he was like, oh, you stay there. And so we drove to go get the pizza. And she was so angry that I went with my birth father to go around the corner to go pick up a box of pizza. Like, really. So she wasn't a very nice person. None of his brothers, they don't care for her. The aunts that are still in Illinois that I speak to.
Yeah.
No.
So what is your relationship like with this side of the family?
He has since passed.
Okay.
He passed, I believe about 2 years ago now. I think
Okay.
it was about 2 years ago. After the pizza day, I didn't speak to him ever again. I tried, and I would leave messages, and just, I wasn't getting any feedback. But I did meet two sisters. Well, okay. He has a lot of children. Okay.
Okay.
His daughters and children, they say, the song Papa was a Rolling Stone. So
I
everything.
wasn't gonna say it. I
Yeah,
wasn't gonna
yeah.
say it.
That was it.
But
So
okay.
I met
The
the one.
song I was thinking it, but I wasn't gonna say.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said it.
He was out there, and he was a handsome dude. When he
Okay.
was young, he
Okay.
was a handsome guy, tall. Now I know where my sons get it from because I had no
The
idea.
height.
Yep. So tall,
Did you
tall.
go to the funeral?
Oh
Did you attend
no,
his service?
no, no,
Oh
no, no. And
no.
I'll tell you why. Um,
Yeah.
One of his brothers passed away after I had met him, and
Okay.
he has two daughters that moved from Illinois to Texas. Well, one of the daughters, Jada, love her. She and her family came and stayed in my house with me for, I think it was like 4 or 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
About a year after I met him, a year or two, I think, after I met him. Then she came back for the funeral. So
Okay.
I went to the funeral with her and Novel's wife, Lisa, staring at me, talking to some of the family members. She said I stole a picture out of her house, which I told the aunts I did not take anything out of the house. I would not do that. I actually screenshotted it off of Facebook, and I reposted it on my Facebook page. How she saw it, I
Mm-hmm.
still don't know, and I really don't care. But I didn't take anything out of her house. She made a big ruckus because they made all of the siblings, including me, take a picture at the funeral during the repast.
Okay.
And I didn't want to. But Jada, I listened to her and I went over and stood with them, and I'm kind of, and they know each other. They've grown up somehow or another
Yeah.
with each other.
Yeah.
And there's like 8 of us there, and here I am. She was pointing at me, and I'm not generally like a confrontational type person, but I don't run away either. Even at this age, like I don't want to fight anyone. Like, I'm not 10.
Yeah.
She was pointing, so I went over to her and I said, "What is it that you need from me? I'm not calling you anymore. I'm not speaking to him anymore. I didn't want anything." I gave a whole list, and Jada kind of took me and was kind of leading me away from her until she got up and she tapped my shoulder, and it set me off. I didn't fight her in a church. I wouldn't do anything like that. I didn't know. Did not do that. I walked out,
Okay.
and there was like a wing spot or something across the street from the church, and I just went and sat over there and waited for everything to finish. Yeah, that was a bad moment.
Yeah. And unfortunately, then you didn't go to your father's service.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go to the funeral
To,
after what happened at that other one. I
right. I
said
get
no,
it.
because no, I wanted
I
nothing
think I
from
would
him.
not have. I think I just would not have let her have the power like that. I think I would have gone. I think I would have
No,
gone.
I couldn't. I couldn't do it. I
Mm,
didn't want to see him like that either.
I
They
get
said
that.
he had
I
stopped
get
eating.
that.
He wasn't eating
Yeah, yeah.
anymore. I didn't want to see him like that. I
I
I
get
have a
it.
few pictures of him here in the house, and I'm good
You're
with
good
that
with that.
that memory and that conversation we had going to get the pizza. Like I'm okay with that. Yeah.
I, I get that. What I want to ask, because you have quite the ride and quite
Yeah.
the story, and somebody out there needed to hear your testimony and what it's like and what it can be like when you go and find these people.
Hmm.
So I want to ask you my last question. If you had anything to say to an adoptee who wants to go and find their birth family, what would you say
Do
to
it.
them?
Call me. Email me. I will find them for you. If you have any names, we will figure it out. Do it. I regardless of the relationships that I have with any of them now, I got the answers that I needed. If anything else had happened, like anything wonderful had happened after that, with having close relationships or friendships, that would have been great. But I have my children, I have my grandchildren, and I am good. That's it.
That's it. I don't even have anything to follow that.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
There's
that's
so
it.
much
Do it.
more. I swear I could talk for like 3 hours straight.
Let's do it. And I always believe that whatever you say in the moment, that's what was meant. That's what somebody needed to hear. That someone needed that encouragement to just go and do it.
Yeah, do it.
And I'll do it. Is there anything else you want to tell the people about your story that you feel like another piece they should know?
Oh my gosh. It's a book. It's a book that I've been trying to write for about 20 years, and I get scatterbrained and I start crying and I keep putting it down. Yeah, it's just everywhere. I don't speak to Gladys anymore. She stopped answering my phone calls. So I left it where it is, and that's that. Not that I don't like her or anything like that. Just
let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah.
It is what
and
it is.
That's it. She knows where I live. She has my number. She likes my pictures on Instagram. So
that's weird. Okay, so you watching Gladys? Okay, and she okay, girl.
Yeah, the thing I think it's easy for me now, being this age, with I think I have real bad separation anxiety, but at the same time, I'm not chasing people like I used to. When someone didn't like me, I wanted them to like me. You needed to like me. Like, why don't you like me? You know, I've had a lot of issues in regards to adoption mentally. Going to church camp, being picked on because of being adopted. There's been suicide attempts. You know, there's been a lot behind the adoption story that a lot of people won't or can't understand, because I don't think anyone knows what it's like to be given away except another adoptee. And even the adoptee stories could be different. It could have been
they're all so different.
You know, it's so yeah. Not everyone was cheating. So my story's a little bit different. Yeah.
Oh, you know what I want to ask you that I did not ask you, just so the people can know, when you found your biological families, what is your nationality?
My birth mother is Puerto Rican, 100% Puerto Rican.
And your father?
My birth father, I've been told a couple of different things. So I say he's black. That's what I say. Yeah. Someone said they have Indian something, but I'm like, yeah, black. So it's okay. So, you know, I'm half black, half Puerto Rican. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Oh, and he was married to a little white lady.
Yep.
Got it.
Yeah.
But the family did not like. Got it.
Nope.
Got it. Okay.
I have a lot of siblings. A lot. Oh, yeah. I have a lot of siblings. Wow. I haven't even met all of them, and I probably won't. No.
Your story. And like just what you just told here, I know that you said that you could just tell like so much, but people are so interested in the journey and then what that journey looks like afterwards. And you nailed it. That's it. You nailed it.
I got what I wanted. And for once, I got what I wanted. You know, I got to see them. I got a couple of pictures. I got my medical info. I'm healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Wow. I want to thank you so much for coming and sharing your story.
Oh, thank you. That's the first time I've ever done it. Like, you know.
Really?
My gosh.
You did a great job. Great job. Hold on. Don't hang up. Don't leave me just yet.
Okay.
I just want to say bye.
Okay.
And thank you. Thank you again so much.
Thank you.
Until next week. Bye, family.
Journey on. You need a pie with the good? Oh, yeah, what's the one?